I shall be here shortly. Of course, I'm here. Sadly, this doesn't want to work anymore. Can't determine why. Well, hello, and welcome to my stream. I am Chief Multi-Hat. Thank you so much for stopping by, whether it be live or in the VOD. Thank you so much. Recovering from choking on my spit. Do not know why, but just decided to inhale a mouthful of spit and start choking. The scuff continues. Yes, it does. Alrighty. What devastating things are we doing today? Well, first of all, I want to take the time to thank you, all the service members of our country who have given the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty for our freedom. Sincerely thank you for their service and the families, and may the memories live on. It never gets easy, but time does make it different. I totally agree with that, and I just want to take a moment and say thank you. Alright, so this stream today is basically a continuation of all my streams. Trying to get my game done. It's called the Dungeons of Treptera. It's a computer RPG dungeon crawler. Essentially, going to go through the dungeon, go through a maze, find monsters, increasing strengths as you go down, more challenges as you get higher up in level, and hopefully survive all levels of the dungeon. So from that aspect, I've been working on the game engine. Now, a lot of times in game development, the game engine is the graphics, the music, the whole kit and caboodle. And of course, with myself, graphics and that such is, to me, the game engine. But when I do speak of game engine, I'm also talking about the rules, the actual code that's supporting, independently of all of the visuals, how to run the game. To me, that's the game engine. It's from a programmer standpoint, it's a library. It's a process that takes input and simulates. Not really simulation, but it runs a round of battle or a round of checks and balances and such, and reports on the results. And then the game engine, which would be like in this case it's mono game, I pick up on that and change the visuals and the sound and such. But today I'm going to be working more on, well, a little bit of refactoring, kind of making more sense, getting more of a fluent style handling of the data classes that define what mobs are. Mobiles, which are monsters. Mobiles are movable monsters through the maze. In this particular case, the rule set that determines what gets spawned and at what strength and what, and such. That's where you mix the artwork with the game. And I'm just kind of going through there a little bit and experimenting with a few things. And we'll see how things go. So pretty much just moving forward with those things. Quite interesting, the green screen is picking up my thermos. Very nice. Keep the cool water cool. Still recovering from choking on my spit. Good old times. All right, let's get right into it. basically kind of heads down. I am experimenting with something. So I am not using AI to make my game, but I am working on having AI do some mundane tasks. In other words, it's not developing anything. I'm giving it very specific instructions as to, hey, I want you to take the pattern I'm using in this class, and I want you to apply it to the properties of another class and refactor in the same manner. And it basically saves me 30 minutes of typing. I review it, making sure that it is in the same manner in which I would have done it. If it's not, I'll try to give it more instruction to start working on it, or just stop and start typing myself and get it done. I'm not a proponent of AI directly. I see it as a tool, and as such, I need to come up with the majority of what's going to happen and give it instructions into the areas I want it to. Never going to be a situation where I would like to just simply say, I would like to make a game, just pop it together. No, it's here's my rules, here's my game system, and I want you to give me some static extension functions for the properties, read in this and create Fluent style. And I suppose you could even say, here, use this prefix. I wanted to see what it come up with. So I'm doing some of those things and doing some refitting on those from that aspect. Kind of going through reason why, and I kind of did a search on, I could say, Fluent. Fluent is basically taking, since C# is allowed static extensions, and by doing that, you're going to create a static function, for example, over here. And you're going to pass in this. So it's saying the dot notation, left-hand side, that object, you're going to define using the structure, the construct this, the class name and your variable, and then any other parameters, so that when you're coding, it looks like as if it was part of the class, but it's a static function. It's a shorthand, basically. And if I'm passing in, let's say, a mobile definition object, MSC, and I'm going to pass out the same object, then you could chain these things and define them. So what's nice is to be able to go specifically and kind of very wordy, say, yes, attach with aspect, with name of class, with max level, with min level, and so forth. And the code kind of tells you what's happening without having to use IntelliSense to kind of hover over the parameters of a function if you haven't memorized everything. I kind of like the flow and feel of it. Now, of course, this could be abused and misused of sorts. And, I'm trying to avoid that, of course. But I also kind of wondered on a deeper level, hey, when you chain all these things, does that make like a huge compiler mess? Is it really that efficient or not? And when I look at that, I'm like, no, the compiler is actually kind of smart enough to figure out what you're doing. It coalesces all of those things into one type of block of operation, much like as if you were to say, object.set this, object.set that, object.set, and continue, a block of those, which I could do that as well. I like the flow of it. Now, one aspect of this is it is mutable, meaning I'm passing in an object and I'm actually mutating it, changing it as it flows through. In some aspects, you could start with the standpoint of, hey, I want my Fluent to be immutable, so I'm always going to create a copy of the object and return a copy of what I just changed. And if I were to take that part of that chain from that point on, I have a separate object. And you could have it do that at each level. So at the last chain link, it's going to be a completely new copied project or object with all those properties, going on. Now doing something like that would probably, work with allocation of each object as it goes through that process and such. But it's also, you would then create that as a immutable. In this particular case, the full intent of it is a mutable chain, and I want that to happen. So in this case, I'm going to build it out and such to do that at this time. Little housekeeping here. There we go. All right, see if I can make a bunch of noise. Oh. There we go. Get the old mic situated here. All right. Now, I have noticed behavioral differences when it comes to different types of AI models, and happy little mistakes, or, oh yeah, I can use that, that's not bad. In the process, it did add a few things to my process, my refactoring, that I'm like, for example, I have with conditions, with armor, with blessings, with weapons. And really what it's going to be doing is it's going to create a new list of these armor choices and replace the existing list here. Whereas add condition is going to verify that I actually have a list available. And then if I'm not trying to do something stupid like passing in a null object, it will be an additive process. And whereas, kind of adds robustness, little scope creep really, but, robustness that I don't know as a single developer on this makes much sense. It's one of those things, I need that, I'm gonna go build it. I have all these functions at 0 references. Because the way this is used, probably wouldn't necessarily need it to be done that way. But I could just delete it. So yeah. Also, this step, still recovering from choking on my own spit. Wonderful. Close everything. Control M. What happens is these static classes are used to, I don't like this. I like having in-between claps, not fully claps or not. Pain in the butt. A little bit of the pain in the butts. Why am I so huge? There we go. This is code that builds data sets. Essentially used on initialization, and it would hang around because they're static code. The game generally operates by opening up a JSON file, which is the data store, and pulls these data objects in, and that's actually what creates the mobs or mobile units. And one thing I could do is create a separate console application that uses these classes to then generate those data sets separately, and then I can remove this code from the main game. But half a dozen one or the other. I'd rather just leave them in. It's not that much overhead. And it gives you the option, the ability to recreate baseline in case your data gets really messed up due to too much modding. All right. So for this particular, see now, this is the armor blessing. Yeah, let's go. What am I doing? I don't know. One moment. Really do need some sort of I'm on the air sign outside my hobby office. Throat. It's got loud. Apologize. At least my meter tells me it's loud. We'll see how that is. Whee. Okay, I have an extension somewhere. Let's clear up here. Yeah, here it is. Alright, I'll replace these. Let's get rid of those. Add conditions and such. Alright, let's do a little, see if this does what I want it to do. Over here on the left-hand side, we have add weapon, add armor, armor blessing, and add weapon blessing. I want the same thing done with weapons and armor. So, I have a context I've been kind of building up. And let's do this. Using the pattern found in with methods of could have typed it out by the time I looked it up, but whatever. Create, add, create, add methods from the with methods concerning. Let's see how fancy I can do this. Weapons and armor. Weapons and armor. Alright, let's see how it can do. Let's see if this can figure it out. Yeah, let's go ahead and confirm the adjustments here. Okay. And let's just have it, make it happy and build my solution. All right, let's take a look at what it did. It did the add weapons. Did add weapon. Yep. Take a weapon choice. If I'm empty, go ahead and create a empty list. And if this is not a little of a check here, if it's not null, then go ahead and add the weapon. Perfect. All right, now it did something extra. It saw that the other adds worked on a single version of that, but it recognized that I have even an array or a list of that item. So add weapons. It went ahead and said, oh, let's do the same pattern of the weapon choice. And then it a little bit overprotective. Hello, Moonbase 420. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate your time here. How you doing? And good evening to you as well. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm cheating. Now, I'm pretty staunchly not really happy with AI, but as being a software engineer, I'm just trying to get use it as a tool set. Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to teach AI that I want it to take the patterns that I'm using and twist them around. No. So that I can save some typing. I'm not really wanting it to come up with new things, but I do want it to be able to take a context that I understand and see if it will actually fill out some methods that I wanted to expand on. And I'm pleasantly surprised, although comparing this output to, let's say, something available at work, it's the cheap model, so I can tell it. Gotta be very concise. So yeah, I've been taking my passion, my 2.5 years worth of work, and trying to see if AI can kill it. No, that's not my point. I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm not necessarily having, definitely not having AI do my game. I'm telling AI precisely that I want you to extend what I'm saying and refactor this in the way I'm doing it. And so far, it's able to do that, which is not too bad. Probably about the extent. Yeah, I've been sitting and philosophically debating all this stuff for a long time now. Our place I work, right now is very much a tool set to be used, not a mandate. And it does help with a lot of different things. It does a lot of typing fast. And with that, I end up having to do a lot of review. And I keep it controlled in very, very, very confined areas. I'm not so broad sweeping where I'm going to have like 5 or 6 agents going and just simply really broad stroke develop this system and that system and this system from the top down, just nothing really to work off of. I would rather build out skeletons and framework pieces first to kind of get at least my flavor of how I'm doing it to ensure a good start. And then maybe use some of those things to expand that out. But it's going to be very much under at least this developer's control, type of thing. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that works. For something like this, I'm using this. So someone asked, well, did you use AI to develop your game? Well, no, I didn't actually use AI to develop my game. I'm developing it. Am I using it to do grunt work? As of maybe yesterday, yeah. A little bit, just to kind of see how it will do it. And I've had to rewrite it because it missed the mark. Which is interesting because I know of a model that it probably would not have missed the mark. So, but in the future, we're going to be paying for that, which is going to be kind of a good equalizer. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. There's a lot of talking heads talking about AI, and I'm probably not going to join that group really too much, mainly because I am kind of resistant to this process because I'm more closer to retirement than starting my career. So naturally, I'd probably be a little bit philosophical about these type of things. And I'm also not a bleeding edge network edge Google FANG employee either. So dare I say, not cream of the crop. But yeah, it's pleasantly surprising. I did tell it to, let's see, how did I say this? Did some heavy wording here. Updated mobile definition extensions to refactor. Oh, that's the one I did before. Oh, here it is over here. Using the pattern found in add methods of mobile definition extensions, create add methods from the with methods concerning weapons and armor. It did, but it went a little bit further than I expected. And that's the problem too. I totally agree with that. And here's the thing, I got to thinking about this. I kind of did a pre-test of my, my stream stuff, and I usually like monologue, into thin air just to kind of get things going. I get some of my thoughts done out in the air. A lot of times the discussions with us, I work with a lot of senior developers. I would probably consider, my peers would consider me a senior developer. And, you do have the discussion of, who you talk to, your juniors, your intermediates. And really, it's just, your various levels of capability. I mean, we all have our minor differences in capability, but then there is there can be a wide gap, a little bit. Some actually have to go and figure things out, how to do something before they can do it. Some don't understand the concept quite yet, and they have to actually break it down first and then build it up, and need that experience. And others, other times, and then you could also have those who could abstract that information very quickly, and even though they are R&Ding it for the first time, they're very productive at first. They're going to become senior engineers pretty quick. But I did come to a small conclusion to myself, as I also talked to my fellow senior engineers. When we're talking to AI, a lot of times we would say, it's like talking to a junior and having a junior do work. And I would find that, end up finding that I'm doing a disservice for the junior developer. I think it's not fair for me to say, like a junior, because one, this AI should never even be in the place of replacing a junior. In fact, a junior could be using the AI itself to help them to a certain extent. It'd be us seniors saying, well, here's the demarcation line. Don't get caught up, how to determine hallucination, or if it's going down the wrong path. Really what it should be teaching is your scientific method skills of change one variable, make a test, is that the outcome expected, and why did it happen, and and learn from that. And I think with that situation, if companies are replacing juniors because of AI, I think that's a big mistake, bad, and I've already seen anecdotal evidence of failure of the businesses that do that. Does it change the game a little bit? I mean, did IntelliSense change the game? for those who used to, code by memory and using Notepad and various forms of that, I mean, it kind of made me used to have to write the code all at once and compile and get it right kind of the first time without the help. It also meant that I had about 15 books open to different pages on my workspace instead of using IntelliSense. So, I mean, did we ban books? No. Did we ban IntelliSense? No, of course not. Now, the advent of AI or that extreme pattern matching capability, I think I just want to call it advanced pattern matching, really. Does that replace things? It shouldn't. It's tantalizingly easy to short your brain and, completely think, oh, this will change everything, and you just throw everything out the wall, everything out the window without really thinking about it. So, as much as we can teach and guard against that, I think, something like the AI usage could end up being that. It's going to be interesting. A lot of philosophy, it's going to be a lot of business psychology and philosophy going on. Morality. We'll enter into this. Because you have a tool set that at that front can seem like replaces everybody. And it can scare some people away. I don't think that's correct. Makes me depressed. I mean, I have 30 years of experience of doing this stuff, and it depresses me sometimes. But you got to look at it different ways at times. But right, going kind of back to what you're saying. It, really should be probably used for grunt work. Because in all honesty, you are bouncing ideas off the average of the people out there. And I don't know where that average level is. So, continue to make human connections and connect human peers and ask questions to humans, first and foremost. But I just want to make a game. So, I noticed that the AI kind of expanded on. I just wanted this, which that already had it. What's going on? And that's what I don't anticipate. Exactly. Definitely made finding a job in software engineer more difficult. And it's amazingly, I'm shocked to hear, oh, we got to do that now? Oh, that's important now? And, yeah, I'm still calculating on that one. I mean, as long as I'm not in a situation where I'm in dire straits and I have to take anything, if I were to be, it'd be interesting if it would be worth my time. Just interviewing or talking to other places just to get an experience where they're at and basically have a, in a perfect world, or at least in a world that I would suggest doing, be in a place where when you're interviewing and such, it's not because you're behind the 8 ball, because you want to be there and you have the ability to decide if you want to be there or not, and you can take it or leave it type of thing, in a situation where I'm okay where I'm at, and because in that case you could just, you could be yourself, and when they put forth these different ideas, you can counter with a real response, and if they don't like it, that's not the place I want to work for. Now, if everybody, unfortunately, has become that, that's a whole new landscape, right? So, now what do? Conform? Communication skills become even more crucial because you have to get across, your stance of an AI, what you consider too much or too little to use, and some of the judgment call is to, well, I'm not aligned with your judgment call and what the business thinks should be, and here's the reasons why. And you could present that. Now, if they like the critical thinking skills and capabilities you're using, you know, maybe that's a plus. If they consider that a run on their turf, well then, to each their own, I guess. But yeah, it definitely, you know, I mean, on even a lesser scope, when C# came out 1.0, I found it absolutely hilarious. This job offering was, oh, we need 5 years of C# experience. And I'm like, it only came out officially, publicly, 6 months ago. So how's that happening? So I wonder if this is just the version of that in HR at this point in time. Then again, I think it's still networking. If you know somebody who knows somebody, they're still part of that too. As I aimlessly go up and down as I think and talk, I just scroll this until I get sick of motion sickness. Oops. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of talking to my son about this a little bit. At this point, you know, using a... yeah. I had to learn. So as I'm learning even to maybe use AI now, I also had to learn early in my life. One, I know I'm an introvert, but I need to learn how to be an extrovert when I go to work. And then I could stop being an extrovert when I stop being at work, which is highly difficult. But that is, I guess I'm less of an introvert when I'm around those who are in the same field I am. So I'm glad I'm not, at least I don't feel that much. I had in the past, but anything else beyond what I do, the introvertness it's there. But that's one of those things I've kind of worked on as a personal goal, identifying, okay, I could on purpose expand a little bit of that, and make it less of a problem with me. But network is important, and I don't have all the answers, even how to do that right. So after I get past all the philosophical reasons, I'm gonna have fun with AI, I guess. I don't know. I've been, when I first touched AI, it sucked because it just absolutely sucked. It was just stupid, and I was like, this is an absolute waste. And of course, that stuff has jumped ahead quite a bit. I mean, how can it not, when you throw billions of dollars on this, and how can it not get better? Now, I do not believe in the exponential growth and capability. I think we are going to hit a kind of a plateau to a certain extent. But one of the things I did notice is, software engineer, what do you need to be? Well, yes, you need the computer science, you need the practical skill sets, you need the abstract thinking capability, you need a problem solving capability. But I guess, I hate to say it, but it seems that my typewriter teacher was right. I did, in fact, have to learn how to be a good typewriter or a keyboardist, and must be very good at using the keyboard, which, what? That's not science. I'm not going to learn that. What's wrong with my 3-finger typing? Come on. Well, apparently if the AI can type faster than you, your number one skill as a software developer is how fast can you type. It's been reduced to how fast you can type. That's my take. I'm going to have to start, doing the internet type faster. Typing for programmers. This is your secret sauce for success. No, don't take any kind of advice from me like that. Don't do that. I wouldn't. Not prudent. I'm gonna keep it. Just keep it. Keep the edits so I can stop seeing the green. All right. So did it do what I asked it to do? I wanted. Did I ask it to do something that I didn't want by accident? I mean, that's a possibility. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Or not. Quite interesting. So here's a random fact, a random tidbit. The sides of your eyes, your vision. First of all, when looking straight, women's vision can see color wider than men's. Just the way it is. Kind of interesting. But beside that, the edges of your eyes, you don't see color, you see black and white. Also, the refresh rate is much higher at the edge of your eyes. So normally at 60 hertz, you can't really tell the difference of things, flashing. But you can probably, much higher, dare I say, 90 to 120 on the sides of your eye. You could see things that are blinking, and then you can look straight at it, and it won't look like it's blinking, but from the side it will look. And let me just explain. I have OBS on the side of my right monitor here, and it's perfectly aligned with my peripheral vision. I can see something, and it keeps moving, and I keep looking over, and I'm like, there's nothing changing. And I'll just say, it's beginning to drive me nuts. It's the small things that drives me nuts. Yeah, it is. So, and it's kind of hard to test for it, but if you have something like brightly colored and you try to really fix your eyes forward, and then as you move it over, you can tell there's something there, but you really can't tell its color until a certain point. And it's kind of interesting. Now here's the nerdy geek in myself. Going through high school, I was into kind of electronics and things like that, and I would put together little circuits. And the old 555 timer. It's a monostable timer. Basically, it's a chip with an oscillator circuit, and you can set it up to make very stable pulses. And I wired that up into a certain pulse rate, and it would flash an LED. And by having it flash at a certain hertz, you could then see at what point can you tell it's flashing or not flashing. And if you look at it, it was flashing. You turn it up to the point where it keeps flashing, into the point where it looks like you think it's solidly on. And then as you moved it off to your side of your eyes, you would actually see it flash. And that's what I knew. That's when I heard about that, and I tried that out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So if you're ever into electronics and want to kind of test that out, you can test that out. I would say you could probably test that out using a game engine. And I wouldn't bet you could probably get a square to flash pretty accurately on your screen. I mean, you need a pretty good refresh monitor, but I bet you can probably get it to flash at 40 times a second, 60 times a second, maybe a little bit higher, right? Then all you have to do is just look on the side and see not flashing and then flashing. I suppose you can do that. I thought way too much on that. Just way too much. Did I? Right, I'm just trying to confirm that I asked, did I want it? I subconsciously wanted it. Okay, so what do I have over here? I'm replacing. Yeah, see? Well, why would I put add range? Now, why did I do that for? Oh, interesting. Yep, on the right-hand side over here. Have I ever worked? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, nice. Embedded system development. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've worked on embedded systems a little bit, like programmable control units, PLCs, and such. I have just a little bit, but not directly a lot. Close I've gotten to something like that was when I worked at a soil and water testing laboratory. There was a very, very precise rail system that would very accurately move an arm down its rail at very precise measurements. And so it'd go all the way down and travel and come back. Well, there's a PLC controller that does that. And so what we did was, at the lab, we used a version of that to control an arm system that would hold, say, 6 probes. These are pH probes. And then we would attach to that programmable unit an output for pneumatics. It would have a pneumatic piston that would push up and down the probes. So it would turn on, up and down. And once you, essentially what you can tell this device is to move to position, X number of inches from start, and it would do that. You could give it a velocity and things like that. So the PLC had its own code language on it that you would connect to it using like a RS-232 cable. You download the code, and then you make some adjustments to it, and then you upload the code. And so my extent of embedded systems was I had to go in, alter that code so that it would respond to data inputs through an RS-232 input, and then it would go through the macro language. It had to do all the actual timings and stuff I didn't touch, but that part, like give it a command to say move here, and it would calculate in its own units of measurement, and then it would move. But also to have it respond back to me states, of its switches. Did you push the air valve 1? Did you push air valve 2? Have you started your move? Where are you moving to? Are you done moving? Are you in the process of moving? And then define that data stream so that on the computer side then, I had then wrote a serial communication on the computer side that takes that output, makes sense of it into like a supervisor program, and now I know basically I'm keeping telemetry between what the computer program thinks it should be doing, and then the code that's running on the PLC or the embedded system, between the two. And between that, I could give it like macro instructions, like okay, now after reset, rehome, and then tell it to okay, now move to position X, Y, and X, push the probe down, push the probe up, type of thing. And then so that gave me basically X and Z core capabilities. And then we had a tray of samples that would run on an oscillating table, and that would give us the Y, and that would be very controlled oscillation. I would then calibrate the machine to go into position of where the cups are, and then in the mean center of the orbit, the probe would go down the center of that orbit, and then what it does, it'd move dirt around the probe and such. So I did that, and that was the interface to read the samples. And then I had another, not necessarily embedded system, but somebody wrote a digital analog converter. It was a 24-bit DAC, and it multiplexed that against like 8 probes, of which we only used 6 or 5 probes. So I had to write code to communicate to that, and then turn around and take the results off of that machine, and then start doing the scientific calculations to determine convert the voltage read to the pH that the instrument should be reading, and taking into consideration signal bounce, making sure the signal is stable. So it was probably one of the more fun times of computer engineering, computer science. Lots of fun. That's probably my extent of getting right into not fully into embedded systems, but at least that's where I'm at. Oh, sweet. Oh, absolutely. I've been thinking about getting, just even a Raspberry Pi and having it do stuff, and then having the computer talk to it, and do things back and forth that way. So that's what we need to get into. We can get into the getting yourself like an embedded system, and then you put your game on the embedded system, right? And you have a whole new class of indie embedded games. That'd be kind of fun, actually. Well, look it up. So what is an ESP32S? What type of system is that? Is that a microcontroller? Okay, if I read the internet correctly. Oh, sure. System on a chip. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's like kind of a beefed up pie. Interesting. Very nice. So what kind of operating system? Yeah, my controller. So does it have its own operating system? Or is it something very, very being risk? Low level C. Throw it into a loop type of thing. Oh, sure. I suppose it uses flash memory, doesn't it? Gone are the days that you need an EEPROM reader and writer, UV light eraser. I mean, they're still there, of course, but cool. Oh, sure. I did a cross-reference between a ESP32 and a Raspberry Pi, for example. I see. So, very low level, you're going to use direct C programming to basically throw it into an operational loop that's going to be its own program without having any real OS, according to the internets. I'm not sure if I'm close to that or not, but whereas a Pi is just a small computer. I mean, I suppose you could, maybe. Probably not. How much memory does that thing have? Alright, got me geeking into electronic stuff. I was either going to be a electronics engineer in a circuits, or go into computer programming, and I went into computer programming. The second thing I would have done was computer circuits, digital circuits. Technically, I did try to go to some college thinking I'd be a computer engineer, and computer engineering, which I thought would be a mix of digital electronics and programming, and found out it was neither of those. So, not interested anymore. Yeah, the one home cooked. Oops, let me just make the world end here by smashing my microphone. Apologize. More scuff. Nice. Yep. Remember one project back in the older computers where you had a parallel port and you did some assembly, you can read off the parallel ports. So what I did was I optically isolated the parallel ports. So I'd have optically isolated switches on the other side. From there, I took one of the ports and fed it through a photo transistor. This is a real cheap way of doing this. A photo transistor, and on top of that, then I put an infrared LED attached to a very low voltage transformer with simple rectification, so that it would just flash the light at the light and current, so 120 times a second, and then that would immediately cause the the parallel port to go high to low 120 times a second. So then I took the other optical isolated outputs and put them through some triacs, or high, voltage switching relays, zero cross relays. So basically stop conducting or turn off when the source current is 0. And that gate was set up through the optics. So that was basically optically isolated between computer and this device. And essentially that would then turn on a string of lights. So the computer would write to another pin, and it would turn on the lights, and if it turns off that pin, it turns off the lights. So now what I did, I wrote a program that counted the number of main loop cycles from the 120 times a second input. So I did a constant polling, and it counted how many times could it go through the main loop. Then with that information, it would divide that out into actually 10,000% or 10,000 ppm. So 0.1% increments. And with that, a supervisor program would go in and say, okay, I want port 3 to be at 50.5 or 50%. So it'd be 50, 49.5, 49, 48, 48.5, 48, 47.5 percentage. I mean, I even got down to the point of being hundreds of a percent. And essentially, the code read the port responded to the AC line, and I could count how many counts can I get per 0 crossing. And if you were to wait 50% of that duty cycle and then give the signal to turn on, your light will be on 50% of the time. So then I just basically created an 8-port computer-controlled light dimmer switch, which was really fun. So then I could have the computer control light bulbs, plug in light bulbs if I wanted to do like a lamp stand or Christmas lights. And what was really cool about that, because of the resolution, I first wrote it in like basic. It was like basic VB, quick basic 4.0 or something, 4.5. And I said, no, let's get faster. Let's write it in C. And I got lots more counts. And I said, let's go nuts. And I wrote it in assembly. I had the assembly driver do the parallel port position, and then I had that stuff turn into talk to the C program, and then I had my regular program and say in basic. So then I could give it a program and I say, I want you to turn on the 100-watt bulb, but I want you to increase it by 0.01% every 20 seconds, or whatever. And it would be interesting, in a dark room, you didn't see anything, but then slowly you just notice the light getting brighter. Much more fine control than any of the light dimmers that we have today. And it was kind of funny. It was really literally simulating sunrise, because the light was so slow that it looked like it was, the sunrise. When the sun starts coming up, you suddenly notice, oh, it's brighter. That's how it was working. It was really cool. So you can use those ESP32 chips for home automation. I would guess those ESP32 chips are also economical. How much support do you have to have around them to have them run? Well, it does say they're low power. So yeah. Oh, very nice. Well, that, and it has built-in Wi-Fi. I guess it'd be a matter of putting into your code probably the ability to talk through Wi-Fi. Make your own IoT. Oh yeah. Well, it's really fun, especially when you have embedded systems like that. You got the electronics side of things, but then you also have the computer side of things where you write programs that are physically affecting what you're doing, not just the virtual, but you can actually see and feel what they're doing, and that's pretty cool. It really accelerates learning when you can get it into some sort of either field of vision, tactile, able to see what you're doing. Yeah, it really helps us cement some ideas. That's cool. Get me reminiscent of the old days. It's not that old. I keep telling myself it's not that old. My basically adult children now remind me otherwise. But that's okay. What am I trying to do here? Add armor choices. Add armors. Technically... Oh, I have links turned off. I apologize. I have finally just determined what has moved the side of my eye. Chat gradually moves up a line and disappears off of the screen. That's what happens. About every 30 seconds. Well, I've completely torpedoed myself out of what I'm trying to do here. What am I trying to do? I want to get rid of these in general. Wait, that's spawn mobiles. Don't touch that. What am I doing? Why did I call it spawn mobiles? Go to definition. What was spawn? What was spawn? Oh, that's what spawn mobiles were. Oh, very interesting. So it can emulate several different systems. See, this is the things that AI is not too smart at. All it needs to do is do this. See? Well, I want newer constructs. Come on. Armor with weapons, probably the same problem. Nope. And weapon would be, yeah. Clean up. I'd probably get more than a Raspberry Pi if I wasn't working on a game at the moment. On my tombstone, what's going to say? Still working on his game. Oh. Wow, level 6 already. By 6. Was that basically a computer at this point? I mean, a full computer practically. Yeah. Things like the, that ESP32 chip. Does it have any kind of general purpose I/O? Or any kind of built-in digital analog converters or anything like that? GPIO pins. Can you attach one of those pins to a DAC? The reason I was getting at is, sound like an ESP32 could be a good little chip to, let's say if you attach temperature control, have the ability to reliably, or at least fairly accurately, get temperature input. It could then make a decision and maybe even run a heuristic and then have it turn on a relay. You can create your own, create your own things that way. That's what I was thinking about using like a Raspberry Pi for. Probably wouldn't want something as beefy as a Pi 6, but creating some automation for my home brewery. Do some temp control things. What am I trying to do? There we go. Add condition. Bold definition. Add condition. With conditions. Interesting. Eight-bit DAC. Okay. That's a pretty wide range there. Depending on your voltage reference, if you want more precision, you're going to have your whole width of voltage needs to be small. If that's a thing you need to worry about. Interesting. I mean, all filtered through my idea of temperature controller type stuff. 2 8-bit channels, not too bad. 12-bit's a pretty good base. 8 seems to be chunky, but I mean, chunky's usually pretty good industrial-wise. 12-bit starts getting into enough precision, it seems to be. Which is ridiculous when you, at one time I worked with a 24-bit DAC. Microvolt. Stability of 1 ppm per... It drifts 1 ppm in 24 hours. So basically 1 bit. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, but timing and... There we go. See, that'd be kind of cool to... I wouldn't mind wiring up. It's still natural. I'm just, you know, putting in controls. So you're making pepper plants and stuff, right? You get a little bit of a moisture meter. And let's see, you also get like a light. How much sunlight it's being hit. And moisture. And let's say the thing that you control is watering. You can tune it in to give it enough water, but decide when to stress the plant by not giving it enough water, but having enough water to keep it thriving and alive, but enough to make it meaner, you know. So you use your controller to make some super hots. I mean, the fun is building out that stuff, right? I mean, practicality. Speaking of projects and practicality, I once in a while make sausage. So I got a grinder and stuff and all that good stuff. And then there's times where I have a long drought of not doing anything, and then I get back into doing something. Inevitably, you forget some stuff. And so, of course, you know, the natural casing was breaking and popping because I didn't get it, you know, it was too dry and it was sticking on my thing, and so exploding. I finally got that to work. So I said, I'll make some hot dogs. I want to make an emulsion of meat, and let's make some actual hot dogs. Unfortunately, I made very, very, very ultra fine ground beef sausage. It didn't break, but I did not have enough fat content. So, I wouldn't say, it wasn't like coarse hot dogs, because the grind was incredibly fine, but you can feel it when you eat it. And it was like, I got it as yeah. I made a bun-sized one and put all the fixings on it. You know, it was good tasting, and it wasn't that bad. In fact, it was enough of not being a hot dog. I'd probably eat it more than a hot dog, because truly, an actual hot dog. Ugh. But you go through all that process. You know, you cut up the meat, you cool it down, almost frozen, crunchy. You go through the blender, spread it out, put it back in. You know, you mix your pink salt, and water content, mix it together, spread it out, put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, or however long it takes to get crunchy again. Take that back out, go through the small die again, crush all that, you know, chop that up. And then you, and then you take that and put it back into, then you add your seasoning, spread it out again, put it back into the refrigerator or freezer to get, once again, very, very cold. Get your blender. Now I was using a blender, and I was going to then put that almost frozen meat into a blender, emulsify it, proceeded to overheat the electric motor as I smelled nigh burning circuitry. So then I had to get the stick blender out to get the rest of the meat done. I about burnt my hand off trying to do that, because, you know, I'm overheating it. And back in my mind's like, it's 4 hours into this. I still don't have the right tools for this job. And I'm doing all this stuff. And my wife, bless her, but she does say something to the effect of, you know, you could just go to the store and buy some expensive hot dogs. And to which I reply, you are very correct. I couldn't have done. Well, I don't buy expensive hot dogs, but you can get some good, decent hot dogs. But it's the making of it. It's the journey. It's the process. I mean, albeit it screwed up and I hated it, but at the end, I'll try again. I used brisket trimmings. So I had a big bunch of chunks of meat with some good fat on it. And I thought I had about 50% fat. So it was a brisket dog is what it was going to be. So yeah, I had a bunch of brisket fat sitting in there. Next time I'll make sure by weight I'll have at least 50% brisket fat mixed in. And we'll give that a try again. And I'll probably get an actual food processor with sharp blades. I like my Blendtec, but adding water would have made it to work. But then if I added water, it would throw the ratios off, the emulsion would break, and I made other sausages, and it was time to make an emulsion because that's where the technique comes in. And yeah, so I will probably get something that's going to blend up that. You know, it's kind of funny. They would say, well, that's a highly processed food. I'm like, well, I mean, I do chop it up quite a bit. I do add a little bit of pink salt to it. I do add salt to it and water, and I mix it with my hands, and I cool it down, and I chop it up some more. And then I add spices and cool it down, and then chop it up some more. And then I blend it into a smoothie. I don't quite see how all of that causes cancer. I mean, minus the potential of the pink salt. You know, I'm basically trying to say is, I'm not sure we understand what overprocessed food is sometimes, but yeah, I'll leave that debate for somebody else, somewhere else. But I did some heavy processing on my own. But there are no special chemicals. Yeah, I mean, what helps with emulsification? Well, you can't add xanthan gum. You could add, things like that, gelatin. You can, if I want my hot dogs to last, a few days, a little bit of something to preserve it. I get that. It's just interesting. But yeah, a lot of the foods like that, yeah, that's gonna get me. Look, I do want a program sometime this afternoon or this evening. Yeah, yeah. That's quite a bit of stuff going on. Even if you make your own sausage and stuff, it's pretty basic. I even like making my own bacon. And honestly, the curing and the pink salt and the cure and the smoke, it goes a long ways. It's not going to last, immortal like food we have on the... Yeah, and really, but then again, I would say, well, the real problem is your packaging, not your processing. But I split processes down a little bit too tightly. Technically, yeah, it's all together. Well, honestly, you just can't engineer for every human experience. For all practical purposes, they test certain things out, and this should work and it's safe, right? Well, then the humans go by and they go, well, let's keep it out in the sun for a while. Well, what happens if you do that? No one's going to keep food out in the sun because the food goes bad. But it also leaches when it's out in the sun. But we didn't expect people to, you would think that, you would never leave this, or in conditions like that, or, things. Or, well, we expect the plant that's doing these things to, maintain quality control. If anyone's been around those industries, that sometimes that doesn't happen as tightly as you would hope. Yeah. I think leakage into the packaging is about the best outcome. There's plenty of other things that are much worse probably happening. So yeah, I get it. I do get it. But I gotta tell you, they're just a special place for Chef Boyardee pizza in a can. I mean, it tastes like metal, old and whatever, but you know, grow up on that. That's nostalgia, even if it is killing me. Just don't eat too many of them. All right. Can I get rid of this definition over here on the right-hand side? Yes. Nuking. Nuking. I've nuked it. Ooh. Is there an aspect over here with aspect? There it is. Let's take out with aspect. And look at the errors. Absolutely right. Because you have the ability to do it does not mean you should do it. Well, I only use that once. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay. Scroll. Yeah, so this part of the game, essentially I have these static functions that will build data sets. So these are the inputs to create objects. And I use reflection to gather these things. So I can go down here and start creating within I think it's, do I have to put everything on here? I think I forgot to do that. Anyway, I'll go take a look. Anyway, it goes and captures and finds these static functions, and they're written in such a way so that this says how to build it. So ultimately, I have a catalog of these functions so that when you go and say, I want to build I want to build this, then it will call this function right here and it generates the object. And this is how you create your monsters in the game. So ultimately, I'm going to go through and basically have the entire monster compendium of sorts in here. And programmatically, I'm going to have it set up and breaking it down so I could kind of read it. I'm trying to make it more of a fluent. So when I come in here and start reading this stuff, I could like immediately go, oh, yep, I see what's happening here. And I think some of these things I need to kind of combine. That's a little bit too abstracted. So let's go over here to spawn buttons. Wait, that's mobile definition. Min-max, a little too much here. I think we'll just do this. Take out this guy. All kinds of angry. 34 angries. Alright, so here's an example of that min level with levels. Okay, let's do this. Let's go also here and say with mobile. I don't want to call these mobiles. I want to call it count. Not with how many. Maybe it should be mobile account. I don't know. Well, Trep's there. Okay. Okay. It says all in scenarios. So, let's... I wonder if it's smart enough to do this. Hey, let's find out. Hey, Copilot. I want you to blow up my code. Thank you. Okay, active document. Okay, that's good. All right, let's do this. What do I want to say? I want to say... replace with men, mobiles, is that will this work? This will be interesting. Oh, I gotta confirm now. Oh boy. Discombobulating your code. See how it works. Oh. Uh-oh. It has edited the wrong thing. Oh no. I've already used up 76% of my monthly. I can't code the rest of the month. Well, I can't upgrade the plan because you put a freeze on it until June 1st. Well, this did not do what I wanted. Oh, that's an incredible amount of... I think the sobering fact of AI is... And somebody else did kind of mention this too. I listened to him. Kind of agree with it a little bit. With the normalization of the cost of AI into a consumption model, you're going to go from a standpoint of use all the AI you can to taking training camps. Going and listening to how to become more efficient at using your prompts and all that stuff, which I don't think is going to solve a lick of the problem. I seriously doubt the efficiencies of your prompting would make up for the widening gap of need of computation from the AI and how much it's going to cost you to do it. Quite frankly, we're just going to have to develop a new language and a new mechanism that reduces redundant typing and have a language that's actually built to support that type of coding is what we'll have to do versus using all this AI. I think the paradigm shift truly is going to come to new programming languages that's going to work fundamentally different. Anyway, that's my prediction. Why did it do this? Undo all. Totally missed the mark. And I've eaten through my tokens. Gah. No. Well, let's eat through more tokens here. I'm gonna have to give it examples, aren't I? With mobiles. Is that the only place I used? Didn't use levels? Ah. Okay, well. Replace. Using I think with mobile account, right? Yes, we're using this mobile in the file scenario mobiles. Yes. All right, see how that messes things up. Oops. Looks like it did not work. What? Oh, it's not. What did you do? Encode search. You didn't do anything. So what? Obviously didn't do nothing. Okay, try again. It went back to mobile definitions again. Deny. Undo. You did not update scenario mobiles. Instead, you updated the wrong file. You doofus. Really? Luke. Oh boy. This is why you back stuff up before you do something. Yes, this is raw C#. The only thing I'm using libraries for is the mono game section of things, which is up in the actual Dungeon Treptera code, and that's just to deal with all the graphics. The rest of the code is all hand built for the game itself, which is the Maze RPG Lib. The real basic name of the game is internal name, but yeah, So I'm going through here and creating these things. Yep. All right, so what did it think it did? And if I say no, is it going to blow up my code? This is why you don't use cheap AI, folks. Don't do it. You just nuke that and say don't do it. How about we clear it out, please, and undo and continue. Oh, gosh. You didn't, like, undo everything I... About to crap my pants. We're not going to lose 2.5 years of work here, folks. Come on. I feel like I've asked my toddler to go drive my car. Nothing can go wrong with that, right? Other than getting thrown in jail for having your toddler drive your car. Okay, let's save. Let's version changes before destroys my world. Let's do that, folks. Push. Oh, no, push it. I'm going there with it, just... Lit. Thank you. It's a private repository, folks. Well, it was private. I used AI today, so no longer private. But yeah, a lot of the mono game stuff is just... like it's programmer forward. You have to create everything. You know, what would be considered the scene or a node, or yeah, you got to create that all. And so kind of what I've done is I've kind of started building out reusable classes with the mono game in place, exposing a pattern and building things around it in such a way that if I did pop that out, and my next mono game project would then basically hopefully be able to use it again. Yeah, mono game has changed quite a bit since 2010. It's up to date. It's separated out from Microsoft now. I think some Microsoft employees privately now, well, in their own nonprofit organization, is maintaining and building mono game. So that's kind of cool. Still has the same namespaces and such, but I don't believe Microsoft has anything to do with it anymore. At least not officially. And it's free. And yeah, if you're licensed with the console, then you can use it. But you have to show proof of licensing. You know, you got to be sanctioned to be able to say, I'm going to develop for the Switch or the Xbox and different things like that. But for computer-wise, no, it's completely open. And I think even Android and iOS for mobile is also opened up completely too. So yeah, interesting. I'm just going to use, this is just right now, I'm only doing Windows support for this game. So it's not quite honed for multi-target development quite yet. All right, let's get to just new chat window. Let's total changes. Clean up the list. Oh, good, that's just a list. Nuke this, nuke this, nuke this. Start completely over. Used to be a way I could say, hey, how much have I used? Which... interesting. Yeah, I'm not an AI expert. I mean, expertly against it, but I don't. Yeah, and anything that I had AI do, it was done exactly in the pattern that I was going to do it, and I fully reviewed it. The only thing I didn't do is actually type it. I would have typed it exactly the same way, which is good. So in the end, I've actually lost time. All right. Okay. I couldn't AI do this. I don't know if I wait. That's not right. I do have mental problems. Where is this going? Control. Huh? Oh. Oh, okay. God. This is the kind of thing, this is what I want AI to do. Not. Let's try again. Let's try this. Replace. Replace. With min mobiles. And with max mobiles. Refactor. I like that word. I'll use that one. Using with mobile out. It should be able to read the min-max properties and put them in and remove. Now it's reading a bunch of stuff it doesn't need to. So yeah, in this case, if my prompt was a little more specific and saying, find the information located in this class file here, that might be. And with that, he used all his allotment. Why are you wanting to change the wrong file? Okay. The prompt was way too pithy. I just want to see what it does. I don't want it. Yeah, see, this is... Here we go, folks. This is most excellent. What I wanted to do, I wanted to go in here and say, oh, look, you see, you have with min mobiles with max mobiles. Oh my goodness, this is retarded. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. And the truest definition of the meaning, not the negative connotation of the word. I apologize. This is so counterintuitive. Interesting. I wanted to read. I want it to replace with min level, with max level, because you see a property here on the min level and a property with the max level. Or let's go with min max mobiles. So we have with min mobiles and with max mobiles. Originally, it would potentially see the fact. Did I say something wrong? No, I didn't. Okay. If you look at with mobile count, there's a min and then there's a max. And if you go with the name min and max, the AI has already proven it's able to match and pattern match when it's, you know, embedded in a context like that. It can infer this min would be this min, and this max over here would be this max over here. So what it did was, instead, I took out these functions completely, and now we have, let's go over to the source code. Oh, let's make it backward. Oh, I see what you want. No problem. I got you. I'm going to make backward compatible delegates. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new one called with min mobiles. Refactor. Maybe I should have said replace, not refactor. Oh, you're kidding me. So, oh yes, I see. Yes, we will use your new function with mobile count. In the new, we'll use that, but instead, we'll create a with min mobiles, send in the minimum, and then we'll just change the minimum value, but we'll reload what it was beforehand. And the same thing with max. And basically, this is a big runaround to doing exactly what it's doing anyway and having two function calls in the first place. Undo. Deny. That was completely wrong. That took 5%. That was completely wrong. Do not modify mobile definition. Right? Is that the class name? Mobile definition? Yes, it is. Do not modify mobile. Okay. In scenario mobile. I think I know what I need to do. It can't abstract out the fact that things don't actually exist. These are gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to recreate them. This is so dumb. I would have been already done editing the files by the time me trying to get AI to work, and also spend AI percentages of until the next month's whatever, which will be like end of June. This is dumb. I am okay. I'm glad to know that you're GitHub Copilot. All right, Yeah. I got to learn the rule setups and things like that. I think I am asking a little bit on this particular model. It's just a little bit too much abstraction. I'm gonna have to probably gonna have to create. Right now there is no methods of with min mobiles. If I had one, I could say, okay, I want you to combine these two existing with min mobiles. Don't call these. Take the parameters that went to each one of those. Instead, use them in the new, and I would then present the new function that has those parameters, and then apply these edits through all the patterns that it finds. it might then be able to infer, oh, I see. You want to take out these two functions, take the min max parameters, and use those as the parameters in this new function that you're telling me of all the matches you see. And just haven't been done very good at doing that. Remove with min mobiles? I think I'm trying to make .md files and have like rule sets, bounding language. Claude Sonnet is much better at doing that stuff. Did I get this name right? Am I just like flying over it? Or did I nuke it somehow? I don't know. Well, you know what? Let's not cheat. With levels. With mobile count. Yes. Using the min parameter from with min mobiles apply to the min parameter of this whole file count and use the parameter with max mobiles form from with max mobile as the max parameter for this mobile count. There. Oh, very nice. That sounds cool. Does the ESP32 have like a video out versus like say communication over RS-232 or something like that? By George, I think it might have gotten it. It's going to use up all my allowance, but I think it's gotten it. So it's like a when you hook up screens to a GPIO pin, do you have to like have like a video shield or something that goes onto that, or are you directly connecting certain pins to the lines on, let's say, an HDMI cable because of the type of signal that's being applied? Look at it. It failed again, folks. Let's take a look at what it did. Do not modify mobile definition. Okay. Modifying mobile definition. How on earth did you find 123 results with mobile count? What has this thing done? This is hilarious. Oh, I see. It's like an an LCD screen. Or like a dot matrix, you know. Okay, it said it made changes, but it didn't make changes. I bet it calls with mobile count twice, just externally doing what it did previously within its quote helper functions. Take a look at what you did. Except it didn't do it. I bet it ran out of tokens. It didn't do it with everything. Because look down here. Did it do anything? Did I not say yes to something? Change anything over here? Why is it just doing it one at a time? Yeah, go ahead and build. There's more errors. Yeah, you're going to find out. Build, yes, I know the build failed because he has things he need to do. Duh. Well, actually, yeah, if you did it with levels, it would also be a good thing to do. I'm guessing that maybe the modules, it could end up being more expensive than the embedded object itself. I'm pretty sure I could have went through these 33 errors and typed them in myself by the time I'm trying to get AI to work here. What are you doing? Well, you gotta let me scroll up to see what you're doing here. You want me to add the following edits to compatibility extensions? Yeah, space. Yeah, it's completely breaking down. Deny. 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 Well, what else changes did you do? You just went ahead and just put them in there anyway. Undo. Yeah, we're done with AI. We're done. Yeah. Goodbye. Stop. Clear out. Undo. Continue. And moved. There'll be no more AI today. Step by step by step. Now watch developer crash out. Mobile count. You just went through one class, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Nope, we got a failure here. Mobile count. Count 2. Delete. Count 3. Delete. Delete. Now, true AI would learn about what I'm doing here. And like a sprinter with a baton, would come up alongside and say, I think I understand your editing, which we need to go through and make the rest of the changes. And I would say, yep, do it. And then that would be perfect. But not today. What are you doing here? No. Oh, this thing just completely puked. Utterly. Just exploded. I didn't hit a dent on stuff yet. Unbelievable. Go do some elf meditation. It's all mid-level, isn't it? All right, well, let's go and say with levels. And let's do, I don't care, this one. 5,8. Boom. 1. I still don't look forward to AI crapping out when I'm trying to do it using at work. Uh-huh. All right, what? Okay. Don't look forward to that whatsoever. Backspace, what are you doing? Why did you do this? I screwed something up. I've acquired wrong. With levels, Control C. I'll put in 8. Oh, that's what it did. Why would it do that? What? This is so weird. Why would you do this? I didn't say copy that. Oh, I see. Maybe I did. Oh my goodness. What are you doing? With levels, Control C. Delete this. Double click that, Control V. Because you're including the dot. Do it. With levels. Not levels. Levels. Take that out. Don't try to think for me. On one hand, AI, think for me. On the other hand, AI, don't think for me. I might make new monsters today. Maybe. Oh, that screwed up because somehow I screwed something up. How am I capturing this? Is this IDE doing something to me? I know I didn't control copy. Okay. With levels. What's it saying to me? Where's the cut and paste at? Or whatever. Grab with levels. Not the dot, just with levels. Control C. Control C, Control C, Control C. How about that one? All right. Now, I double click this. I hit Control V. 8. Delete, right? Now, if I double click this and hit Control V, right? Losing my mind. Control V. Am I doing finger mashing the keyboard? Control V. Somehow is overwriting my copy. I have a key. There's something wrong with my keyboard. Now it thinks my Control V is this. What in tarnation is going on here? Try it again. Somehow it's overwriting something. Some feature thinks it's smarter. I don't know. I'm clearly not hitting Control C with levels. Right? Right. Okay, with levels. I'm going to take out the period. Okay. I'm going to copy with levels. I'm going to hold down Control C, Control, and select C. Control C. Okay. I'm not going to delete this. I'm going to hit Control V, Control V, Control V. Holding down Control V. Control V. Yep, okay. All right. Okay. Now we're going to double click this. I'm going to hit Control V. Okay. And we're going to take comma 3. I'm going to grab this and hit delete. Right? Nope, it's Alt backspace. I'll need to take both of these out. I did not do that right, so 5 and delete. Now, if I hit Control V, what do you think it will be? With levels. Okay. If I double click this one and hit Control V with levels, comma 8. Take this out. Take this out. All right, I'm gonna check the keyboard. Is this an cheapo keyboard? No, it's a Logitech. All right, well, okay. Maybe I'm holding the V button down too hard and it's counting as that. I don't know, but it is Control V. All right. All right. Only 17 more of these things. It's okay. I had 3 attempts at AI trying to figure out how to do this, and I couldn't, so. And there we go. Don't make me rig up a keyboard cam so I can replay the footage and see if I'm just doing something. What? And as you can see, the IDE has decided to replace my stored control copy into this. Edit. Show clipboard history. Am I hitting some sort of chord like Control VV? And that's getting interpreting as a Control C? Is that a thing? Learn something new, I guess. That's dumb. Don't want the period. Control C. Control V. Control VV. VV. No, can't possibly be that. Take this out. Double click on this. Hit Control V. Yeah. And then I type it wrong. With levels. double click this. Control V. Oh, that's a little hang around with the other one. Control V. Control V. And level. Control V. Okay. Control V. I must have some sort of short circuit on this keyboard. That's disconcerting. Control V. Right. Control V. Control V. Does anybody have an idea why this is happening? Just decided to with levels. Oh, with levels. Why would you like hitting like? I'm hitting a cup. Why is it trying to twist? Control. By hitting Windows key. What does Control Windows do? Like just fat fingering everything? It's outrageous. Control C. What is going on? All right, I'm going to try this. That's Control Window. Control plus Windows key combination primarily used for navigate and manage virtual desktops and Windows. Okay, how about Control key combo in Windows key? And Visual Studio 2022, 2026. There is no primary default keyboard shortcut that use Control Windows, known as a chord. Okay, well, then why do you keep... I mean, I'm going to have to say it's hackers. Someone's hacked my computer. It's a chatbot AI. Copilot is mad at me. And now it's just messing with me, isn't it? AI psychosis has already set in. How about we do this? Control V. 1, 2. And let's delete that out. Space. Let's go into here. Control V. Okay. 2, 4. Take out that. Right. Let's go to here. I'm going to hold down and roll with my finger across the control key. Hit V. Okay. That didn't trigger it. I'm getting weird behavior. I have sticky keys going on or something. Holding down the shift key for 5 seconds. Appears to do nothing. Alright. Redocumulation. Mm-hmm. Three, 6. With mobile count 2, 4. There's some feature I need to turn off. Pretty sure. Control C, Control V, 2, 5, close parent, and then it shows the extension add mobile. So why? No, sometimes IntelliSense is just not too intelligent. What's crazy is it's worked fine before, and then new version stuff comes out, things go to complete crap. I gotta hit escape now. Interesting. Probably what was happening is the IntelliSense suggestion pops up when it shouldn't, and me hitting some keys caused it to. See, I should immediately start being able to delete these, but I can't because it's telling me that the extension blah 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 is, I don't know what it thinks it needs to tell me, but we'll count 1 to 2. Yeah. With levels, and we take. No, it's not correct. It's not with mebbles. It's mobile count max. Okay, this is 1 to 4. It has some bad spawns here, I'm sure. Right. Control V. 1 to 2. Escape, because I don't know, we have to have we'll have to restart probably IDE. I bet. Something's going on. Just escape because it's stupid. Oy. Slowly getting there. Oh, we'll count. Let's go for levels again. Not with levels. No. With levels. Thank you. One. Yep. Escape to get rid of the telesense. It's useless. With levels. 2 to 3, right? And escape again. Alright, I need to do this. Dot with Control C. Alright. Open parent 2, 3. Hit escape. Not 30, thank you. Right. 3, 5. Stop IntelliSense. I hate having to hit escape every time. Save. Right click. Edit. Nope. Nope. Go up to edit. Edit. Advanced. Format document. Save. Build. Good times. All right. Closing the IDE and launching the IDE. And everything's gone. Oh. That'd be hideous. Yeah, let's play the game a little bit, I guess. Yeah, let's already play the game. White, blue slimes, red slimes, not whites. White slimes. Excuse me. We're going to take white slimes. And then we're going to go down here. White slimes. Test V1. Slimes test. Test V1. Two to 4. 1 to 2, 3 to 4. Three. 5 to 6. Okay, 7, 8. Yeah, 7. Right. Save. All right, so we got test 1 through 4. Okay, let's go up to here. And oh, here we go. Actually, what's oh, got it. All right, let's go to Ian Slimes. Ian Slimes view 1. Control C. Test V1. Test V1. Test V1. And yeah. No, it's not it, right? Okay. And Slimes, V test V1. Add mobile SB white slimes. Really? Did I have to do that up here? Oh no. Do. Test. Two, 3, 4. 2. Oh, that's right. You know, I should do that. Nope, I'm not doing that. Test. Test. I'm treating the slimes. What's your problem? EC, you do. Right, Control C, Control V. Not that way. Alright, and put in 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, let's hit save. Alright. That's how badly this works. Compile it and run it. Turn it down a little bit. There we go. Get some mouse cord. Got the mouse coordinates over here. Because I have mouse support coming into this. But I'll turn it off for now. Let's see, who are we? Guild Hall. Let's go to registered parties. Let's bring in. Oh, I am Silverleaf. Good. Okay. Let's go to the dungeon. No, let's go to. Who needs resting? Nobody. Perfect. All right. Oh, yes. Let's go in the dungeon. Dungeon editor. Okay. Edit the baseline. Escape. Set spawn index. Let's add spawn to bank. Slimes test 1. Perfect. And edit. Testing purposes 1 and 5. Edit age level, no. Set room spot index. That's right, I gotta select it. Alright, 5. Let's make this entire down here be that. Alright, so why are these off? Interesting. Right, and hit Y, and go back into town. Yep, now let's go back. Turn. There we go. Eight white slimes, level 1. Right. Spell. Thick fog. Use the ability. Auto attack. Spell Firebrand. Okay. Silk begins. White slime has succumbed to Firebolt for 2 damage. White slime's corrosive misses Roxy. Miss. Once. Dragnar hits once. Short sword hits for 6. White slime attacks. Oh no, this is new. White slime is discovered and forced Silk out of the shadows. Oh. Patches once. Affected by. Alright. White slime's mortal wounds. Eroded for 1 damage. Right. It's Dragnar has corrosion. Nice. It's working. Ready some commands. Let's put Silk back into shadow attack. Let's have Belinda do Firebolt. And Roxy do a Firebolt. Not fight. Firebolt. Right. Oop, I need to have it reset. I did reset, it just didn't reset the That's interesting. Shouldn't this be more? Something paused? Nope. Alright, we got Silk. That's just Silk began to disappear in the shadows. Roxy cast the Firebolt 1. Succumbed it. Burned for 3. Silk's rapier gores. Okay, 1 slime has mortal wounds. Misses Bob. Dragnar hits slime for 6. Tasha hits 3 times for 22 damage. Another slime is gone. Slime clobbers once and hits Belinda. Bob harms but fumbles. Slime, and slime both normal attacks, and then the tendril they miss. Cast Firebolt. White slime has succumbed. Torches for 4. Oh, that's 5 of 8. Okay. Which is fight. Rapier once. Vital damage again. White slime has received more wounds. Ooh. Corrosive slime has hit Natasha twice for critical damage. Cuts 4 times critical damage. Mortal wounds. And now we have Silk's rapier stabs twice. Mortal wounds. Dragnar is still corroded. Right. Okay, so we got short sword breastplate corroded. Dragnar is corroded for 1 damage. Dragnar is a little longer corroded. Nope. Get here. So I have level 13 party, and these are like level 1 monsters. The white slime test was really the amount of monsters to see how that's going to work. Commands, Dreknar. Let's do the ability of Faint, Fight, spell of Rigor Mortis, and then we'll do a spell of Firebolt. Yeah. Silk will do his shadow attack, and Roxy will do a spell as well. Firebolt. Right. Faint's weakness attempts to lure hostiles. Silk begins to appear within the shadows. Dragnar's sword misses white slime. Right. Silk rapier stabs once. Harms for 15, 7 vital, and that slime is down. Corrosion slime has missed Natasha. Natasha does a once hit or 8 damage. Roxy casts Firebolt 1. Slime had resisted it. And another corrosion attack against Dreknar misses. Bob casts Rigor Mortis. Slime takes damage and is paralyzed. So we have White Slime is prevented from attacking, paralyzed. I think I'm going to move the green arrow down to the center. I don't know. So I can move down the key. Succumb to Blona's Firebolt, 2 damage, prevented from attack, paralyzed. Paralyzed. Alright, one's paralyzed. That's ready commands. Everyone's paralyzed. I mean, not everybody, but fight. The slimes are paralyzed. Alright. Short work. They all got attacked before, well, they're all paralyzed, but even so, they were attacked before they tried to attack. White slimes were attacked before they had a chance. Nice. Oh. 1 in 5. Oh, that's a gooey mess. Just have my front row fight. I'll have some fight. And start battle. And they're all toast. Very nice. All toasty. Okay. Now, who are these people? Oh no, it's a ruffian. Let's see if something happens. Everybody's just going to attack the ruffian. Riff Raff's short sword gashes once and harms Natasha for 7. Right off the bat. Roxy. Dagger skewers. Riff Raff for 6. Rapier hits twice for 21, and Riff Raff is now dead. Alright, let's see what happens. Everyone's still alive. Well, that's good. So a Riff Raff is a low-level character, but it does have the ability to on hit, 25% chance of decapitation. So it's a very deadly mob, very easily dispatched, but it has a absolute gotcha, and it's a low percentage. Now, playing this game, you don't know that until you come across it once. Oh, one measly slime. We'll just have Dreknar fight it. Dreknar hits it only for 11. Still alive. Dreknar hits it for 6, and it's done. Very good. Right. There's an encounter. 2 of 2. Now, if I looked at my generation of my slimes, they all should have gotten what's called monster defense, which adds 10 to their armor. Oh. Fight. Seven. And one left. Four. Actually, parry. Roxy will do a spell first. Auto-burst. 12 damage, and sets this sets the slime ablaze. 7 in a blaze, 13 in a blaze, 13 in a blaze. And at the end, the conditions will have an effect on the monsters or your characters. And there are blaze torches for 7 damage, and that slime died to the lethal conditions. And they're all gone. Toasted, as it were. Not go back to town yet. Six limes. All right, let's Dreknar will do a ability. White slime has received mortal wounds. White slime misses Dreknar. White slime clobbers once Dreknar. White slime misses Dreknar. So I would say, so when you feign, that basically causes Dreknar to be a more sought after target for the enemies. And I was looking to see how many slimes would actually attack Dreknar. Quite a few did. So I did cast Fire Blast, which gave them conditions of a blaze. Fire Blast and makes them ablaze. So now it scorches for a little bit less damage, but they're all getting scorched. Now it's ready commands. Fight. Now we're going to spell. Spell. Firebolt. Spell. No, fight. Spell. Dragon against once. Firebolt 1. So you'll see that the white slime has succumbed to Roxy's enhanced Firebolt. That means because the white slime is ablaze, the Firebolt will do extra damage. Dagger does 2 damage for 9. Slime gone. Ragnar short sword does 2 damage. 2 times for 8. He fumbled his attacks. He didn't get all the attacks he could have. But it doesn't matter when slime is gone. Bob then casts Party Heal. Everyone gets healed that has hit points to be healed. Excellent. More slimes. Spell. Goodness. Fight. Fight. And fight. Bob tried to cast Rigor Mortis, but all targets appear to be slain. Pour snout in endeavor. Alright, do some rest and recovery. For the night. 100%. Bob needs some magic back. Let's get some Bob. There we go. A little bit more. Oops. More. 100%. Don't drink the dubious slime or sickly slop or the dubious slop because these are test items. One reduces your hit points to 1. One makes you forget. One reduces all of your mana to 0. Dubious slop will make you forget every spell you know. Oops. Alright. Let's go to the old guild hall. Registered parties. Let's bring out some poor saps. Ooh, that's not gonna be good. Not good at all. Level 1 spell slingers. Okay, let's go to the poor snout. Do some healing. Some resting. think I've been heavily testing these guys. Let's go back to Arcadia. All's mastered. Armor increased by 1, targets the party. Self. Level 2 does these things. Right. Okay. Make sure we have all spells known. Okay. Cleric. Known spells. Okay. Looks like we check out. All right, on to the test hall. All right. Only 2. We'll have the cleric's user. We'll just have everybody fight. All right, lots of flailing and missing around. Everybody misses except for... Okay, there we go. Cleric 2 is hit, Mage 2 is hit, and Mage 3 is hit. Do it again. 4 wounds and... Okay. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Continue our testing. Okay. 6 of them. Alright, this might be more tough. So, spell. Level 1. Let's do a minor blessing. Level 2 will spell. Do a minor curse. Cleric 3 will fight. Mage. Fight. Spell. Firebolt 1. And spell. Firebolt 1. See what happens. Firebolt 1 goes off. 8 damage. Cleric casts minor curse. 1 resisted, 1 has succumbed. 2 more resisted. And 2 more succumbed. Okay. Flail bashes once for 2. Corrosion slime tendril clobbers once mage 1. Okay. Minor blessings. This is cleric. This is cleric. Cursed, cursed, cursed. Mage 3 is corroded. Alright. See what happens here. Alright, so everyone's +1 blessed. But Mage 3 is corroded. Read commands. Let's have you spell. Lesser heal. This guy. Let's attempt to also cast lesser heal on him. Spell Firebolt. Spell Firebolt. Spell Firebolt. What a spell power. Item. Red file. There we go. Each one casts Firebolt 1, successfully hits. Cleric cast heal. Yes. Major benefited and got 6. Wow. Okay. Slime attacks Mage 3, Cleric 2, and Mage 2. Miss. Mage 3 uses a red vial, a thunderous ball of flame erupts. Appears that nothing was affected by it. Firebolt 1 goes off. Right side is affected. That's yours for 6. Flail hits 5. Lesser heal. Oh, H1 gets hit for 1. Right, H3 is still deteriorating. Spell power. Here's an item potion. Right. There we go. Right, we got sleep, resistant sleep, succumb to sleep, and 3 of them prevent him from attacking. H2 is firebolt. Closer slime for 1. Mage 3 got healed again. Is cursed and slept. Uh-oh. Cleric 3 is now corroded, and so is Mage 3. Alright, let's ready the commands here. Right, got some prevention of attacks. H2 attacks a couple times. We'll have Cleric 3 and Mage 3 star under the effects of corrosion. Ready commands. Fight. Spell. Healing. Fight. Try again. All right. H3 is no longer the effects of corrosion. Spell. Not a spell power. Right. Spell. 1 use left. Spell. Healing. Mage 1. Do a spell? Yeah. Sleep. Spell. Firebolt. And fight. Alright, we're gonna start battles. Cleric is still corroded. All of our blessings are now rolling off. Yay. So I'm victorious. Cleric is no longer corroded. Okay. Can I? Oh. Spell. What is spell? Wait. Spell. No, spell. Fight. Spell. Hold. Ah. No. Spell. Sleep. Right, Crazy Man did get an attack in, but now we have armor +1. And he resisted. We have 1 resist sleep, the other 1 resist sleep. Mage got hurt. Oof. Many commands. Fight. Fight. Item. Blue potion. Item. Blue potion. Drop battle. Mage use blue potion. Those for 5. Another blue potion used and held for 5. Rusty sword mixes. Oh my goodness. Arms cleric 2 for 5 damage. Ouch. Command. Fight. Use item. Blue potion. Fight. So close to the exit. Cleric has drank a potion for 5 hit points back. Oh no. Mage once dagger gores once and harms Crazy Man with 3. Crazy Man prevented from attacking because he slept. Dagger misses Crazy Man. Flail misses. Dagger misses. Crazy Man's rusted sword hits once against Mage 3 for 5 damage. That's not good, folks. Mage 3 has received mortal wounds. Alright. Fight. Drop down. Crazy Man has received mortal wounds. Crazy Man's rusty sword hits once. Harms Cleric 2 for 1. Oh. All right. Technically, when you go back to town, I should remove the dead characters out of your party and put them into the other group. So let's go to Right, I will be back. Just a few moments, please. Alrighty, I'm back. Or in fact, was not pounding at the door. Okay, so just oh, wait a second. I don't have a code in essence. Go to 10. Mortuary. Yes. You know, technically. Let's go back to town. Yes. One available. Very nice. Let's go to Guild Hall and go to Party Member Inspection. We no longer have page 3. There we go. Nice. Cheat leaf detected. my cat Zula has decided to visit me. Cat cam. Rocking keyboard. Hitting my mind. Stop it. Alright, okay. I got this. This is what you want. You say hi? You say hi? All right. As the cat makes its stop it. Okay, looks like I need to get some resurrection services going. Perfect. A cat. And there we are. Well, today we had Some adventures in AI. AI being dumb. I would use it for a little bit on some things to basically do grunt work, refactoring, very controlled, explicitly building out anything. There's things I would ask. But generally, I wouldn't be using it like, hey, I want you to build a class that represents fighting. I'm not using it for that. I would build that out myself, being a software engineer. But if I need to extrapolate that, once I've built like a base model of sorts, then I would want to go ahead and go from there and increase or extend a class. Or if I have two different classes, I kind of want to combine the effects. Not too much of a conceptual, but pattern matching and such. I'd find great use in that, but to go to a stretch to say I wanted to understand tabletop mechanics, let's have it build something out, just would have no interest in doing something like that for now. Excellent. But beyond that, just did some converting some of the code over to more of the fluent style of property assignments, and did some group size testing on low-level low-level mobs, but a lot more of them. To get a look, kind of get a feel for what it would feel like, to battle them. And yeah, I gotta get an idea for that. So as I plan on continuing creating more monsters, getting those defined, getting the abilities set out. So I'm going to be adding less functional items and more game items to the game upcoming. So, well, thank you so much for spending your time with me today in the chat. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for doing so. And for those who are watching the VOD, thank you for watching even up to the end here. I hope that was entertaining, or at least some of the things were more fun to watch. All right, well, before we leave, let's not have it completely scuffed. Let's end with some music. Maybe. There we go. Basically, I'm just winding down here. Like I said, appreciate your time being with me. Plan on streaming later this evening, not this evening, later this week. And I'll be just working on some more monsters, putting those together, and see how that goes. So, less AI. That really wasted my time today. But it was, interesting to watch, get set up. All right. Well, I'll hopefully see you later on this week. If not, have a great afternoon, evening, or afternoon, wherever it may be. And thank you so much for sharing this time.